5 tips to juggle business and family life. Hi, I'm Lucy Griffiths and I semi-successfully juggle business and family life as a single parent, but these same strategies apply to you if you are wanting to raise a family and also run an online business. So one of the most important things I think really to think about when it comes to navigating family life and also running an online business is, having those boundaries, making sure that you know what is most important to you. So for me, for example, my most important non-negotiable is that I am there for my son. So my entire business fits around my son. As a single parent, I am there for him a lot of the time. And so I need to be really, really present with him. He's autistic and I want to show up for him as much as possible. So that means I'm there in the mornings. I'm completely present with him in the mornings. I take him to school and then I go for a run so that I have a run to get myself in the best mental space possible to start my day. So I'll go for a run, and then when I come back, I have that window of time between, let's say 10 a.m. and about 2:30 where I work. So often about 10 a.m. I'll get back and I might be like, oh, I'll tidy the kitchen or I'll do the laundry or all of those things that we kind of get sidetracked with. So I allow myself my cut-off point is 10:30. If I've started before, great, but 10:30 it's like, come on Lucy, get on with it. And so 10:30 I really kickstart myself into action, and I have 4 hours. So it's not that long to get done whatever it is that I want to achieve. So in that window, I'm on a tight schedule. I don't have that room to kind of faff around. I remember when I was still a journalist and I would spend hours on Google searching things out. And I remember my colleagues who were parents and they were having to meet the deadline of 5 o'clock, leave the office for the nursery run. And they were much more efficient than me, and they still got their work done, but they didn't have that room for faffing around. And that is the thing that actually, when we have a deadline, when we have that window of time that it's like, this is my non-negotiable, it's amazing what we can get done if we go for it. And so, don't see it as a negative that you are juggling in that time. See it as a positive that you're really good at time management and you get stuff done, okay? So that is the first thing to say, set those boundaries. And for me, it's like 2:30, right, cut off, I need to leg it out the door. And so, I have that window where it's like, this is what I do. And actually, when I pick my son up from school and he comes home, I can't really say, oh, I'm going to do some work, because I need to be present with him. I need to be very consistent and present with him. And so I don't have the opportunity to do more work. I will pick up work the next day. And so for me, those are my boundaries. That's how I work. I do go to bed when he goes to bed. So I will go to bed at about 8:30 in the evening when he goes to sleep as well. And so by doing that, I go to sleep when he goes to sleep. I will wake up much earlier than him. So if I wake at about 4 a.m., that's fine, because I then have some time for meditation, quiet time, journaling, and I might do a little bit of social media then if I'm sort of awake and I've done those other things. And so it gives me that window where I get a little more work done. Sometimes I have a bad night's sleep and I will, not wake till 6:30 or something. So I allow myself and my body the sleep that it needs as well. So I definitely have 4 hours a day, and I might have a little more time in the morning if I've slept well. And so that way I've set the boundaries of how my business works and how I show up. By building a simple business, so I don't have too many offerings, I don't talk about too many things, it's really simple. So I have a membership, I have an online course, and I have mini courses that sell, and all of those sales pages do the talking for me. All of my videos on YouTube do the talking for me. And so it means that I am not having to show up all the time. Last year I went through a messy divorce and I didn't really talk about my business or do my marketing for 6 months. But despite all of that, my business still made money because I had a simple way of making money. My membership, where I still would show up for calls in the membership, but I wasn't having to put myself out there in the same way. And I still had that baseline income that's like a salary that kept me going. Within my simple business framework, it's really, really, really important to make it's simple. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't have too many like team players and having to have meetings and all of those things. I don't have any of that. I will leave a Loom video or a voice note for somebody to get something done, and we'll have a conversation, and I don't have to do all of those things. So I keep it really easy. So it means that my number one priority is my son, and it just makes everything else much simpler. I automate my business. So my sales pages do the talking for me. If you automate, everything else will flow for you. But it's really important to build that system so that you automate rather than just, having to do all the sales calls, having to have meetings, and, you can exhaust yourself with all of that. And so if you can simplify and streamline, it becomes much, much more effective. So put your business on autopilot. I will also batch my content. So I am batching a bunch of YouTube videos today. So I'm filming, I went to get my hair done this morning, and then I'm filming a bunch of videos in one go. And by batching my content, it's still authentic, it's still me, but it just means that I'm more efficient with that content. So I've done the work in one day, and it means that while I still like doing videos where I will go for a run and I'm a bit sweaty and it's more authentic, it's important to have like consistent message and create content so you are consistently putting out a message. And the more that you can show up and have that consistent content, but at the same time, by batching it, you're getting it done rather than thinking every day, oh God, I'm on this hamster wheel. What I would say is that I used to batch my social media posts, and I stopped doing it because they were less raw and they were just less real. And so by stopping doing that and doing one every single day that I do for LinkedIn, it is the most effective way for me to grow my business, and I get the best return on investment by being raw and real and showing up. So it's okay for you if you decide I don't like batching content, but if you decide it works for you to help you to stay on track, then go for it. But remember that you don't want to be insipid and bland. Make sure that there is still spiky, lovely, punchy you that has that spark and that energy, rather than it just being a bit bland and there. And then from that, it's about automating your marketing. So what can you set up in your marketing? What can you set up with your systems? So making sure that you've planned out, okay, I'm going to have a launch this week, or I'm going to sell my course this week. And by automating those emails, setting up that process, it's happening regardless of what you have going on in your life. And so I've got my calendar that has my launches all mapped out for the year. And I will look at that and go, oh God, I've got a launch next week. I need to do all the things. And I remember with my son, there was the school strikes, there was all this stuff going on. I was thinking, am I going to be able to have a launch and do all these things? But I had it in the calendar, and it was kind of this non-negotiable for me. And so because it was there, it happened despite everything else going on, which was definitely much more tricky for me, but I still managed it because I'd automated everything, I'd set up the marketing, so it was ready to rock and roll, even though for most of the days, my son was at home with me, and we were having days out and doing things, even though I could have felt like, oh, I'll put it off. It would have been easier for me to put it off, but I didn't. And that's because I automated what I did. The final thing I want to say is that actually getting help. And it might be that you outsource and get a VA to help you. So it might be that you get a virtual assistant to help you with, working on your business. Or perhaps it's having a cleaner at home to come in like once a day and do the washing up and sorting out. Do whatever works for you to help you so that you can be as streamlined and focused as possible on the business. And, help comes in a variety of ways. There was a time when I would sort of outsource things that actually now I don't want to outsource. I would rather outsource the cleaning and having somebody come in to, sort out the house for an hour a day than I would about outsourcing some aspects of my business, because I've realized that actually I am better to invest 4 hours, or if I'm not cleaning, 5 hours in my business that are really good focused hours, and have somebody come in and sort out and do watering plants in the garden or whatever it may be, because that window of time is much more focused and better for me to be working on the business. So you choose what works for you, but know that your personality, you are your business. And so outsource wisely, okay? Outsourcing is great, but do it wisely, because sometimes we can find ourselves outsourcing our personality and then we're left just marking homework, and that is not fun. I hope you found this video useful. I share lots of tips and strategies to help you build and grow your online business. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye 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 for now.